Hey guys, welcome to the review and results show for the March 22nd, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite. My name is Dan and I review each and every AEW related show. That's everything from Dark Elevation to Ring of Honor. So if you missed the show and you want a quick recap, or you just want a place to talk all things AEW/ROH, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, every notification bell, because always I let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. Dynamite kicked off in a very chaotic way, where we see both of the Young Bucks being carted off into an ambulance and taken to the hospital. Big story beat here is that Hangman decides to go with the Young Bucks, but because of Don Callis, Kenny decides to stick around at the arena because he's got a big match tonight. Very unusual way for them to start Dynamite, but I am all for it. Very different, nice little change of pace here. We ended up finding out later through Brandon Cutler that it was the BCC who attacked them. I already love the beginning of this feud and where the story is going with Kenny, Hangman, and the Bucks, but we're going to find out more about that in a bit later on in the show. Following that, it's a trios match featuring Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting teaming up against Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade, and this was very interesting how this all came about. Apparently, at their most recent house show, they had a match. Butcher and the Blade weren't really too happy with how things went down, and they decided to attack them backstage after the match. I really love that they're doing things like this. It makes how shows feel that much more important, makes them feel canon, makes them feel very, very important that when you're going to one of these shows, that even though it's not televised, it's going to matter in the long run. Maybe on Dark, maybe on Rampage, but this case, it was on Dynamite. Nevertheless, though, this was a very fun match to kick off the show. I love the minimal effort Orange Cassidy put into his face, putting an O and a C right below his eyes. I'll also never appreciate being able to see Sting wrestle in 2023. The way he adapts is just so brilliant. And as he did, Orange Cassidy rolls to avoid a splash off the top. And those little kicks that he did was just so funny. He's my favorite. Always has been, always will be. Then you have Kip, the Butcher, the Blade. They work so well together. And I feel like with the right story, they could really run the Trios division if ever given the opportunity. But with that said, it's Sting giving the Scorpion Death Drop to Kip Sabian to get the win here after the match. Darby was staring at the Double or Nothing sign, but I, along with everybody in the crowd, was staring at Sting doing more OC stuff, and I was all there for it. After a video package hyping up that brilliant four-pillar segment last week, we have the Guns defending their tag team titles against Top Flight, and this was a decent enough match. You had Top Flight showing off their athleticism as they usually do, but you have the Guns using some underhanded tactics, and the Kingdom getting involved because of their feud over in Ring of Honor, which allowed the Guns to take advantage to successfully defend here. After the match, though, you had FTR come out, and the Guns said that they don't respect them after all the times that they've lost their titles, every single one of them, and there's nothing that they can offer to where they would accept another tag title match. And after a few tries from Cash, Dax would interject and say that if we can't beat you next time, that they're going to quit AEW, and then that's when the Guns accept. Spit in their face. That was one hell of a spit to their face, by the way. Ran out of the ring. I really like this because it does make sense why the Guns would not really accept at first, but really be intrigued by this idea. And this, of course, plays into the rumors of what's going to happen to FTR. If are they signed long term? Are they going back to WWE? I, of course, fully expect for FTR to win that match when it finally happens, probably at Double or Nothing. We then go backstage where Renee is standing with Jade, Cargill, Leila Gray, and Smart Mark Sterling. And Smart Mark says that Taya is no longer allowed to use her finisher, since that's the finisher Jay's been using for years and it looks so similar. And Leila is going to personally deliver that to her, where she's going to face her in a match on Rampage. So it should be a lot of fun. Very excited to see more Taya on my screen since she's debuted wrestling in back-to-back weeks. And of course, I'm even more happy that Jade finally has a storyline. Back to the ring, and this time it's Hook defending his FTW title against Stokely Hathaway in a no disqualification match. Before the match even started, we had Stokely breaking the news that he was not medically cleared, and that he was retiring from wrestling with a doctor's note that was apparently nothing more than a receipt from Wingstop that said he is sick on it. That was so funny. I love that so much. Stokely did try to run away in this match, but that didn't work. He got a fireworks extinguisher that got him a little bit of advantage for a tiny bit, but Hook was having none of it, which made this match very one-sided. He would take out a steel barricade from underneath the ring, which he would throw Stokely onto, and then get him to tap out immediately in the Red Rum. After the match, though, this firm were backstage, and Matt was really hyping Ethan up, saying that he has to avenge Stokely. So I'm not sure if this is something that Matt's trying to do, trying to get Ethan to make bad decisions, trying to be his best friend, and that's how he gets out of the firm. That should be fun to see. We were then graced with story time with Adam Cole, baby. And he said he's feeling great, he's feeling ready for his return. When it was questioned who he would be facing next week, out comes Daniel Garcia, who would say that he's become a locker room leader, and he said that it's his duty to welcome him back and put him in his place. It's his duty as about to say professional wrestler, but quickly corrects himself, but it says sports entertainer. He also referenced Adam's Twitch channel. Shout out to the Chugs Army. Very proud member of that. Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia is official for next week, and that should be a banger. Then we go backstage where Alex Marvez is trying to get in a word from Kenny and Don Callis about what happened earlier in the night. We can then see Kenny and Don Callis arguing about what happened. Don Callis saying that his friend's going into an ambulance was probably the best thing that could have happened to him, so he can focus on his big match later on tonight, and that the God of Pro Wrestling is back, really hyping him up, really getting the focus on the big main event that I cannot wait to talk about. We then head back to the ring, where Jon Moxley, accompanied with the rest of the BCC, who were accused of attacking the Elite earlier in the night, to face off against the newly re-signed Stu Grayson. So happy to see my man Stu back on AEW television, back in another AEW Dynamite match. Makes me so excited to see what exactly they have store for him and the rest of the Dark Order in the future. In this match, though, he did the best he could to try to fend off Mox throughout this match and get some revenge, fighting him in and out of the ring. He even did a moonsault from the top to take out the rest of the BCC. He was even able to get out of a bulldog choke and reverse the paradigm shift, but unfortunately he wasn't able to reverse one off the top rope, and that's how Moxley gets the win. We then go backstage, where this time Renee is standing with Ricky Starks, who is very frustrated with how things have been going with Juice Robinson. Says that he's done talking and he's ready to fight Juice on Rampage, and he's done with everything else. I'm very curious to see what exactly happens here, what the end game is here for this feud. We then get another QTV segment where they rag on Rey Fenix and show some footage from his match with Powerhouse Hobbs and called him a hot young prospect. And they talk a little bit more about all they did to Wardlow, lots of crazy stuff. And even brought to light what happened with Meltzer's Twitter being hacked. I'm sure he'd love to hear that. But the main thing to come out of this was that there's going to be an open challenge for Hobbs to face somebody for the TNT title on Rampage. And shortly after that, it was answered by Penta. Back to the ring, and it's Toni Storm, fresh off of that amazing match he had with Billy Starks on AEW Dark, faces off against Skye Blue, and Skye did a great job in getting in a lot of offense on Toni, even getting a few near falls, but considering all that she had to deal with the Outcasts being at ringside, she never really stood a chance here, even with all those kicks that she was delivering, and those were some very nasty kicks. Toni would end up hitting the Storm Zero to get the win. After the match, the Outcasts would try to use the spray cans, but Hijo and Willow would come out to make the save. We would then get a medical update for Stu Grayson, who apparently suffered some kind of injury with his arm. Something popped, but then we would see Jon Moxley and the rest of the BCC just beating him down. Looks like it's more than the Elite that they have a problem with. They just don't like anybody here, and everyone is going to have issues with them at some point. It's going to be interesting to see how that all comes together. Finally, it's time to talk about this truly amazing main event dream match between Kenny Omega and El Hijo del Vikingo. Apologize if I butchered that at all, and you knew how good that this match was going to be, considering that the entrances started at 35 minutes past the hour. They were going to give this match a lot of time, And of course, being that this is a one-on-one match for Kenny, we get to hear that amazing, very unique intro from Justin Roberts and the incredible music that Kenny Omega has. Probably one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite entrance thing throughout all of professional wrestling. And though we know how great Kenny is, the whole world knows how great Kenny is, but really this was a showcase for Vikingo, and we would not have to wait long for this match to get started, as he would go right after Kenny. And what can I say about this guy? I've only seen highlights of his matches on Twitter. I've never seen a full match of him. Everything I've seen has been incredible, and this match certainly was just absolutely incredible. I mean, he's just so damn impressive, right? The kind of stuff that he's able to do has to be seen to be believed. The balance is just absolutely incredible. The way he flips off the top is just kind of blows my mind, because that Dragon Rana he did off the ring post was so damn good. You had that 630 through the table. Oh my god, that was incredible. And I can go on and on about this, because there were so many spots. But Vikingo overall might be the best in the world right now. But not even the best in the world is any match for the god of professional wrestling, as he would miss a 630 that would allow Kenny to take advantage, hit him with the one wing angel, gets the win here. After the match is over, we have Tony Schiavone coming down to the ring, and whenever an announcer comes down to the ring like that, something generally happens afterwards. And what of course would happen is the BCC were not done. They had a very busy night here, will come down to attack him, and then out of the ambulance, driven by Hangman Adam Page, who apparently stole it, would come down to try to make the save. But Don Callis does something interesting, where he would fake to make it look like Hangman hit him, and then put even further dissension between him and Kenny. I'm not sure where exactly this is going. I'm not really sure what Don Callis' endgame is, but I cannot wait to see it. And that was AEW Dynamite. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. You know where I usually go with this. I talk about the stand-up matches. The trios match at the beginning was fun. Other matches and segments were cool, I guess. But come on, how can it not be that main event segment, that main event match? Instant classic, as you saw in the thumbnail. Something that you should really go watch. I don't care what you're doing. Stop what you're doing right now. Go and watch that match. It was incredible. And with that said, though, if you enjoyed this review, please go right below this video, click that like button, that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because not only to let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. So thank you guys once again for checking this out, and thank you guys for being all elite.